and a good friend of mine, Nicholas McDonald, are going to sit on every seat at Celtic Park, and this is to try and raise the last part of the funds that I'm trying to do, which is raising £30,000 for Marie Curie, the local hospice. They've got some covered up ready for the game and media and things, so there's 55,500 seats to sit our bums on. It is hard work. I wouldn't recommend anybody having a go at this. And Alan Shearer did it at Wembley, and he told me not to do it, and I didn't listen. And this is, you wake up in the night and your legs are aching so much, and your shoulders and your arms hurt as much as what your legs and your bum does, because you're pulling each seat down to get onto the next seat. So there's been more challenges than what we've thought. And then as well as every seat that you sit on, you're doing every step at Celtic Park as well. So God knows how many thousand steps as well. We've had to laugh at things because you're just so sore, you just want to give in, you're so tired. I've had to endure quite a bit of Nicky singing, so that's been wonderful. But no, it's been, we've laughed as much as we can through it. Because as well, you're facing the cold and the fact that it's raining constantly and some of the seats are wet, and keep changing your pants for a pair of dry pants, and then Nick's not got any pants, so he has to wear my pants, and it's getting close for comfort. We've got some physios in, giving us a nice bit of a rub down. This is why Alan Shearer said, don't do it. We don't want to wait, have too many breaks, so we're eating while the girls are doing it as well, but we're just trying to get in some carbs, get in a little bit of sugar as well, get a good rub down, quick toilet break, quick bit of hydration, and then back out. And we're trying to do that in a roll in 25 minutes. So that's hard going as well. It's going to make a massive, massive difference, and it's been inspirational because while we're going round and we're feeling this pain, we've had the nurses come up, we've had a few people that's come up from the hospice, patients, and you do think, as cheesy as it sounds, this pain that we're in and this challenge is 4 days. The people that's in that hospice, they're really facing a challenge, and we're going to raise as much money as we can. If we can break over 30 grand, all the better. So we've been laughing and joking a lot this week. There's been loads of things that's made us giggle as we've gone by, but then when the pain started to kick in, Murray, who is the charity fundraising manager at the hospice, on point got Tommy, one of the patients up at the hospice, to come in and have a chat to us, and it brought everything back to reality.
It definitely did. I think
why we're raising this money.
Him visiting was because it got to a point where we were sitting in the seats, we were just, it got into a habit that we're just sitting in these seats. And
I think it was great as well for the volunteers to meet Tommy as well, because we've been busy, we've been focused, and we've been doing what we're doing. It was good for the supporters to see, because to be fair to them, they've done amazing, and they've been sat watching us and trying to get us motivated, but it must have been boring for them. And when Tommy came, collectively there were a few tears, and it just brought it back for everyone. I'd got no association with the Marie Curie Hospice at all, but because I do quite a bit of fundraising work, the fundraising manager, Murray, who I perhaps will never speak to again after this, invited me to the hospice, and I went and had a look round and didn't expect for me to fall in love with it as I did, and I just went in and thought, these nurses genuinely care, the quality of care was amazing, and then chatting to some of the patients in the hospice and them telling them how much it meant, just raising money and what a break it was for their lives and their relations and things as well. And I just came out and said to Chris, I've got to do something. And then the next time I went up to Murray, he asked me to raise 6,000, and I said, I'm going to raise you 30, because it was my 30th birthday a couple of weeks later.
It's just a fantastic place. I wasn't too sure at the start. When they said hospice, right away you think hospital, you know. I says, look, they're putting me into a hospital, you know. That doesn't sound right, you know. What do you want to go back to a hospital for? But a hospice is not like that. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful place. And I'm glad to be going there, you know.
It's absolutely marvellous, because I get support as well. You know, I can go and get some treatments like massage or Reiki, you know, and acupuncture. You know, they try and fit you in because they realise that partners or carers, or wives, we're under stress as well. Although we're not going through the illness, but we're going through the illness with our other half. But I get a great feeling going in there as well. I go every Monday as well with Tom, and we have a wee cup of coffee and we take in wee biscuits, and we form friendships with the patients and their carers, you know, and it's absolutely marvellous.
I just feel so humble that there are people, especially young people, going out their way and doing things for you, for the benefit of us. People they've never saw or heard before, talked to, nothing. And they're going out to bring money in. And I think that's the word. I think we feel so humble that people are doing this for us. And it's fantastic. That is great.
We get quite emotional thinking about what people are doing for our benefit. You know, and if they weren't there, we wouldn't have this facility at Marie Curie because the funding just wouldn't be there.
I can speak for as being a patient and Marie Curie. What I have got out of Marie Curie Centre is so uplifting when you're in the position that the patients are in. We are down a very low level, a very dark level. And you go into Marie Curie, that lifts us all up. I was a fitness fanatic all my life. I was never off the road, running around the football park. After I stopped playing football, I coached and trained 3 juvenile teams. I was lucky that I had done that, or else I probably wouldn't have been here today. No.
That's why you inspired me, Tommy. I think when I spoke to you, I saw, and I saw your wife, and I put into perspective of Chris being a footballer and you being a footballer before, and to me, nothing bad will ever happen to Chris because he's so fit and he's so healthy. Nothing bad will ever happen. And then I saw you, and I put my life in your journey, and I came back and I told Chris about you, and I said it wasn't only Tommy. I said it was Tommy's wife when she spoke about how the hospice had been for her and what a break it had been, and that you look forward to going in. The first time I pulled up in the hospice car park, I was frightened to come in because I didn't know it was going to be this gloomy place. And then when I got in and it was like the biggest breath of fresh air, I came back and I said to Chris, I've got to do something, we've got to do something. So it was you and your wife that inspired me, and we'll carry on doing. And then this is what happens now. Nick's involved, and then this inspires Nick, and it grows from people like you that are just amazing. So thank you.
People in there are really ill, and they've hit a brick wall, and that challenge could be over their full life, it could be over just a year or 2 years. Whereas this challenge we're doing is only for 4 days, and then we can go back to our beds on Monday morning, lie there happy as Larry, thinking, right, cool, we've sat in every seat, why we? Whereas in the back of your mind you're thinking, but there's people less fortunate than me that are suffering, and then you think, but I've raised this money and I can walk about with a smile on my face because I know for a fact it's helped a lot of people.
Lisa said this yesterday. We went out for a bite to eat. She says, "Oh my life, I said, listen, this is how I feel twice a week." I'm like, oh my god, play game, but it's unnatural for you, isn't it, to feel this physically.
Steady comms.
It's a huge demand on the body to do so many hours work continuously
and repetitive.
So for you to keep doing this, it must be a worthy cause.
The staff in the Marie Curie are so devoted to what they're doing, you know. And I can see a part of that. I would say the same for Lisa and the young man back here. But what they are doing is absolutely wonderful. It's fantastic. When I was a young person, I wouldn't have thought of doing things like that. But when it comes back, when I spoke to Lisa when I met her first time. I went back into our group and we were all talking, and I told them about it. I've met Lisa and Chris, and I said, well, Lisa was trying to raise £30,000 for Marie Curie, and I brought a tear to a few of the company's eyes that were in there. And we started talking about it and said, this is absolutely fantastic. These young people are now to do that for us, you know. That is, I've never heard of that before. That's absolutely brilliant, you know. But we're also told, but we need the money. Marie Curie needs the money to keep the hospice open and going.
Do you think you'll ever look at Celtic Park the
Never,
same again?
never, ever, ever.
Me neither.
When we first thought the idea, it was up in the Players' Lounge, just up there. Now if I get invited to the games, we're going to the Players' Lounge and making sure that Lisa doesn't come up with any crazy ideas that she's been up with before we come up with this idea.
But it's done, isn't it
That's
now?
it.
We've done and dusted, we've done.
And we're ready to do it again next year.
On that note, thank you for tuning in.